everybody? Welcome to the Wingin It podcast. Jack, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I am making it. So, y'all see the title. Hobbies are supposed to be fun, right? Supposed to be fun, right? All
Supposed
right,
to.
so we're going to have some fun tonight. So, that's what we're doing. To me, gaming is a hobby, and it should be fun. So, first up, man, because we had some releases this week.
Oh yeah,
We,
yeah. We got some
let,
releases.
let the wallets start crying because
Oh.
the next few weeks, people, we all finna be broke.
Tough. About to be real tough.
It's gonna be real
Bro.
tough, like 5-6 weeks. So, and it started
Yeah.
this week. So, man, which playing?
Mario Wonder. Like that's my game. I went and picked it up day one, and I've been on it ever since. Like even though I've been on Game Pass playing other stuff, like finishing up Psychonauts and getting into Hi-Fi Rush for the first time, Mario's kind of just taking priority at this point.
Okay, so I know we talked about this off camera, but should if drug testing is allowed into the officer, what's your level of how did they come up with this? I should say.
But so from what I've played so far, because I've gotten pretty decent in the game so far, but from some of the levels, some of the things they've come up with, I don't know, like if they should be doing piss tests before this. Because if you're getting this type of product, leave them alone. Because even if you look at like creativity, right? And I saw Rob mentioning that he felt like there was a lot of homage being paid to Super Mario World 3 for this game. But there's some things from 2. Like I just finished a level about that had like the aspects of Super Mario World 2 with the snakes, doors of kind of going in and out, and just kind of different puzzles in that nature with the lights going out, trying to go into these secret areas here and there. But I mean, it's literally like the culmination of all 2D Marios at this point. So I mean, maybe they kind of went back and grabbed some things so they didn't have to get too out of space. They didn't have to get Kid Cudi level, but they were good.
So because like Super Mario Bros. 3 is like part of my favorite Mario Bros. 2 2D style is 3. So is it like more of like them like paying homage, kind of like how I would say like Breath of the Wild did with like going back and picking up stuff from like 1 and 2 and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Because I mean, I've been in levels to where I see what Rob's talking about. Like with 3, and I'm like, oh, okay, I remember this from 3. And then you'll go to something else. I'm like, hold on, I know I've seen something similar to this when it came down to 2, or even if we're talking about even though I played the All-Star version of it, but Super Mario World and even in the Lost Levels, like they really went back and kind of touched on a little bit of everything. And then even when you talk about the new Super Mario Brothers, I guess you could series that most people claim they don't like.
But like, boy, they was complaining about that online when they thought it was online. It was like,
but then when people start playing it, they love it. Because I mean, really, the only people that I can see legitimately complaining about the fact that when you're online you can't really collide with each other are those that stream, because sometimes you like chaos for stream because it's fun to see and you killing your partner and blah blah blah. But for those of us that just play the game, that's just annoying. Like I don't want to be going for something quick. Right. It gets annoying real fast. Somebody jumping on your head on purpose or trying to block you from something. And Sonic kind of is going through that right now, to where that's one of the dings on it. Because when you think about 2D platformers, as much as you want it to be multiplayer, where you talk about 4 players or even 2 players, it's kind of hard to do, because if I'm trying to just run through the level and you're trying to collect everything, we're not working together.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem.
It's going to be a problem. So in this sense, if I'm going ahead too fast, then you're going to turn into that little bubble, and it's going to warp you right where I'm at, and then you're going to get pissed off. And I don't know. I just don't see it working in that way. So them doing it this way, to where it's kind of like the hollowed out ghost versions of people that you're playing with online, I like that a lot better. Like, that way I can still do what I do, and you can go do whatever the hell you want to do. Back and do whatever. But I like it though, for sure.
Okay, because to me, I thought that made more sense. The way they described it in that little quick vid, I'm like, that makes more sense, because unless you just trying to troll somebody, it ain't fun.
It's a pain.
Yeah.
Pain. Me and my kids stopped playing New Super Mario Brothers. We stopped playing it because it's annoying. And with us, what were we playing? We were just playing some multiplayer game. Actually, matter of fact, playing local co-op of Wonder. Like my son is kind of like, cool, but I want to just my son just blast through them. Like he don't.
Oh, he trying to be faster than everybody else.
He has Yoshi on top of that, so Yoshi and Nabbit don't take damage. So blasting through while I'm over here getting my ass whooped, and I'm like, dude, chill out. Like
we supposed to be working together.
Exactly. And then also the difficulty stars. I like that addition. I like that addition because I don't know about anybody else if anybody else has played it, but when it shows it's got 4 stars, it's a 4-star level. Like,
also, so they don't surprise you in this one with the whole like you playing, you getting all cocky, like man, this ain't nothing. Then you get to World 4.
No, this is early on, and there's even people I've seen on Twitter say, yes, level 4. I mean, the 4-star level and level 1 is hard, but wait until you get later in the game for 4-star levels. So it seems like there's still some scaling in that nature of there's a 4-star level in level 1, but 4-star levels in level 4 are a pain in the ass. Like there's I have yet to run into a 4-star level and say, that wasn't bad.
So basically it's trying to get you prepared for when it gets late in the game, because they ain't gonna. Okay, well that's good then, because like they didn't used to do that. They did not used to do that. They let you get straight up overconfident. You would be like, yeah, man, ain't no problem. This is easy. Okay.
Yeah.
World 6 get favorite example, the one on 3DS. World 6.
Yeah. That's usually how they do. They wait till later down the line.
Yeah.
I will tell you, like my oldest son, he plays video games quite a bit. Like going through beating having time. He's played, he does his shooters, his sports games. So he games. Literally sitting there watching him freaking struggle within the first 2 levels. And he was like, Dad, what am I supposed to do here? Like, why is this happening? And why? I was like, well, it's really getting into those mechanics of hold B to jump longer. Then when you start talking about these badges, pressing the right trigger for the cap, or if you got one that can make you jump higher, or the little floating jump like Luigi does, like there are so many aspects to it. He's like, Dad, I don't know which one to use. But he got to the one that really kicked us behind was the wall jump challenge. So the wall
I've
jump
seen
challenge,
video of that.
Yeah. He was like, Dad, it's Mario. I was like, dude, they all control the same. It's you. I was like, so they got shit to do with Mario.
Ouch.
They got shit to do with Mario. I'm saying, I'm like, nah, it ain't nothing. I said, watch, hand me the controller, and I'm boom, 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 because I haven't been through it. Now, mind you, when I first went through, I was like, ooh, they made this look easy when they were showing it off. But yeah,
no, I've seen people I've seen speedrunners get caught up in that challenge, and I'm like, and they. You know how speedrunners do.
Yeah.
They were flying through stuff, and I saw some people get straight up caught up doing that wall jump challenge. I'm like,
yes. And there's one level for anybody that does play it. It's a music level. And mind you, this is a challenge. It's a music level. And it starts off with a slow cadence. The BPM is real slow. And every time you start paying attention to it, when a certain note goes off, blocks light up. So there's like a long row, then you got a little bit medium rows, and then you got short row blocks, so it's like only 2 blocks. So you're running and you're jumping, and every time blocks appear, the blocks behind you disappear. So you can't just sit there. You got to keep moving, and it keeps speeding up. So when you get to the end, your foot is damn near on the last one as you're running to get that wonder seed. Like it took me at least 10 tries to beat that damn level.
Wasn't that in Chat, help me out? Wasn't that in 3D Land? They did that.
There was a level like that.
Yeah. And then you also you've seen levels of the game too, to where if you jump, the blocks would change colors. Yeah. So with this one, it was just pure jumping, and with you jumping and possibly about to jump on the blocks, so you got to go back a little bit before you do the next jump, and you just platforming at its finest. Like it's just crazy.
Well, I do agree with something OJ said on Twitter where he was like, dude, they took stuff from Mario Maker. That's why you got 2 Mario Maker games. So they could like see how the community was. I'm like,
oh, the community made this game. Like you can tell the community. Congratulations, you made this game for Nintendo. Congratulations.
Yeah, so I was like, okay. I'm like that actually makes sense because like cause my nephew got my youngest nephew, he got Super Mario Maker 2. He want me to play some of his levels. I'm like, you are no.
Yeah.
No, because you love to like he loves to troll stuff. He loves to troll stuff. I'm like, nope. I know you set up a Rube Goldberg maze of death. I'm not going there. He will sit there for like 2 hours and craft the perfect death machine.
Yeah.
But remember everybody's slogan when the first Mario Maker came out. They said Nintendo sat down and said, "Okay, you're tired of our games. You make it."
Yeah.
You figure it out.
That's exactly what happened.
Hey, dude, I ain't gonna lie. When the honest game trailer guy said that was funny as hell. When he said it, I'm like, dude, he ain't never lied because that's exactly what it felt like.
Yeah,
that's exactly what they did. They used it to inspire the game. But what they did is take some of the trolling out and just make it hard.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because like I will say that it is funny because like I know. I want to say it was like back during the 7th or 8th gen when people were complaining about Mario games being like either too easy or too hard, and I'm just sitting there like, why y'all complaining to Miyamoto about this? Because he finna make y'all pay for this. And I'd be damned if he did.
So what Nintendo did was make people pay to be developers.
Basically,
everybody talk like they are developers.
Now you get to show it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I say there's only one, and I'm nitpicking. One ding I'll give this game, and that's the power-ups. That's the one ding I'll give.
Yeah, because did they do that on purpose, not to only show like the elephant one, and like they didn't really show a lot of power-ups this time.
No, they did it on purpose. I mean, not on purpose, but they showed you everything. So, I mean, it's the drill, the bubble, the elephant, the fire flower, and then, of course, your mushroom. Now, I would say I would give it a ding because I'm accustomed to power-ups, but I will say that the badges were a great substitute. So I much rather use the badges than my power-ups.
Than the power-ups? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. So, I mean, they have levels to where, like, there's a lot of challenge levels in this. So, like, for example, you'll go to get a Wonder Seed, and you'll be in this room, and depending on which power-ups you've unlocked, if you will, they'll throw you in this room and say, all right, cool, here's all the power-ups you unlocked. Pick one and try to make it through this tower of levels in the fastest time. So you can literally say, okay, you start off elephant and fire flower. Then they'll do the bubble, then they'll do the drill head. And so you'll pick one, go up the pipe, and literally you got 4 different levels you got to make it through within a time frame. So you got to kill all the enemies in that one room, and then it'll open up the door for you to go to the next one. And it's a tower. You can see it on the side. And when you get to the end of the tower, there's 3 pipes. Depending on how fast you did it, depends on if you get the big 10 purple coin. So they'll have, so like for the last one I did, if you complete it in 200 seconds, you get the first one. The 150, you get the second one. If you complete it in under 100, you get the third one. And then, of course, you get the one to see that end too. So they put challenges all throughout this game.
Because it's on my list to get. I just couldn't get it because I got way too many stuff. So I'm gonna have to get it. So that's just me. Andre, what you pick up? What you playing?
Right now, not much of anything because I'm trying to get videos done. So I haven't played anything.
Okay, all right. Did you? Are you planning on picking up Wonder Superstars or something like that?
Probably. I'm probably going to do that in the next couple of weeks. I just got some other stuff I got to do first.
Okay, all right.
So I'll be late to the bandwagon, and then I'll have all of my complaints to lodge at Nintendo and Sega and whoever else.
Gotcha.
Did anybody pick up Sonic?
Huh?
Did anybody pick up Sonic?
I didn't pick it up yet.
I didn't pick it up either.
Not yet.
I didn't pick it up yet. So
It's on the radar, just not yet.
Yeah. Jay, I'm with you. I've never touched that damn 70-second one. Not even close. Not even close.
70-second seeds? What's that?
So that's what I was just talking about. So
okay.
There are some levels that you have to finish all 4 of those stages in 70 damn seconds for you to get all 3 of those coins. Yeah. I've not gotten close. I've gotten 2 coins. Every time I've done it, I've gotten 2 coins. But the highest one, the one I just did, is 100 seconds. But usually they're all the 70-second is the fastest one. And yeah, I always get stuck in one to where something just won't die. And
like, you ain't getting your reward today.
Right. And it takes me forever in that damn room. I'm like, shit, hurry up.
Okay. All right. Yeah, some of them have to try. The only thing I picked up this week was Gargoyles Remastered.
Okay.
So I did pick that one up.
How much was it?
$14.99. I had some.
I saw some people paying some astronomical prices for that. I think was a collection joint from Limited.
Oh, the collection, yeah. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. I already got the DVD set. I don't need to do all that. But yeah, because I never played it on Sega, so that's why I picked it up. And I'm enjoying it, and it is Unforgiven, and I'm loving every minute of it. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's basically the old school game. It's basically the old school.
If they're doing that, then I'm waiting for them to do the Lion King, Aladdin. Yeah. Especially Lion King, that's gonna be harsh.
Yeah. Well, they did do that Disney bundle, but it's not remastered. This one you can go between the updated graphics and soundtrack or the classic 16-bit graphics. And I like that they do that. In those type games, I'm glad that they do that. Like offer the updated stuff and still offer the old, if you want that old school feel. It kind of makes me wish they really went back and did that Gargoyles game that got canceled, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. So let's start this one off because I've been noticing something, and I'm really starting to think that people they don't like gaming anymore. They just like to argue. Because until this week, I kid you guys not, I would rarely see screens of gameplay. Yeah. But I have to say, this week has been inspiring a little bit because all I've been seeing is Spider-Man 2 gameplay, Sonic gameplay, and Wonder gameplay, and I'm happy for that.
Yeah,
I'm so happy for that because the couple weeks before, man, it's just been nothing but nonstop arguing about stuff that we ain't nobody sitting in no boardroom.
None. And that's the annoying part because I mean you kind of have to go look for it.
Yeah.
Because if you just go through your timeline, you're gonna see the complaints of, oh, well, Spider-Man beat out Starfield, so that means that Starfield sucks. They're nothing alike, so I don't know how that works. Then people try to throw Mario in there, and then these bugs. I'm like, dude, let's play the damn game.
Yeah, like or the length of a game.
My thing is, why do?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, why do you got to use one game to bash another though? Because if we're being honest, then people are completely delusional.
Yes.
Because I could see a game like, and it's weird because I've seen people talk about Sonic Superstars being rated an average at 7.5. Now it's a trash game. I was like,
no.
I thought that was a good game. I could have sworn that meant it was a good game. It's worth a play. It might not be something you come back to a bunch of times, but it's at least worth a single playthrough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like these rate like, oh, if it's anything below an 8 or an 8.5, then we can't play. I was like, well, then fuck y'all, I'll play it.
Some people, if anything below a 9, they be tripping. I'm like, bro, are you serious?
How many out of the collective of video games, how many games are going to be rated that high?
Like it ain't that
very
many.
Little
on a percentage.
Yeah, it ain't that many. But yeah, and I've seen them trying to poke holes in Spider-Man. I'm like, dude, I think I know why the whole thing is mad with Spider-Man, but I'm like, bro, it's at this point, just pick up a PS5 or play it on PC when it come out. Don't sit up there and trip because you mad because you ain't got a PS5. Don't trip.
Right, and that's not your preferred console. Like the game looks good.
Yeah.
Outside of the same bugs people keep recycling
over and over again. Yeah.
And then you know, I get it. You got your preferred console. You got your console wars because people like to do that for some reason. But then also you got the crowd too that think anything below an 8 is bad because they can't afford anything or they just don't have taste in a sense to where they need somebody to tell them what to play. And that's their barometer. Because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we say it all the time. It's just an expensive hobby, so no one wants to purchase a dud. I get that, but at the same time, if you look at a game and if they showcase it very well, and you say, you know what, I can see myself playing this, pick it up.
Yeah, pick it up. It ain't gonna hurt you. Trust me, it really ain't. Look, Dark Void, you have a very good point. This is going to be an interesting year for Game of the Year because it's going. I can honestly see about 7-8 games being on their list.
So, question for y'all, and I know it's been talked about a lot. Should they start making a remake remaster category? Because there are some games that
they should,
like Evil 4 and Metroid, that could really come back and get Game of the Year. Like, that's not.
I mean, at this point, they need to go back to doing. And I know this is going to be kind of stupid a little bit because only one company really does have exclusives like that. But they need to go back and start doing the individual companies' Game of the Year, like Nintendo's Game of the Year, Sony's Game of the Year, Microsoft's Game of the Year. They need to do that because, like, if you look at it right now, and I think most people would agree, there's about at least probably about 6 to 10 games y'all can put on a legit Game of the Year.
Yes, for sure.
Listen, we ain't even done with the year yet, by the way. we're not done with the year.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because Super Mario RPG could easily be there. Yeah.
But, and that's another thing, too, like you said, with the remaster, because, like, Metroid Remastered, and just to know the fact that a lot of people did not play that game that swore up and down they did, you can tell they didn't, because they told on themselves. They told on themselves when they started, I didn't know this was about to look.
Why I gotta scan so much, man? Why I gotta scan everything?
So there's that. I mean, so it's really like a lot of people are playing stuff. Yeah, just because remastered, they're playing it for the first time. You still got Alan Wake gets supposed to come out next week?
Yep.
No, this week. This week coming.
Yeah.
Is it this week?
Yeah. So
got
that. And I know people didn't play Super Mario RPG back in '96.
No.
So they finna pick that up. So I'm like, yeah, they probably need to go back to doing that because it's gonna be really hard. Because people gonna be, you think people was butthurt last year, bruh?
They're gonna be way worse this year,
bruh. And God forbid, Tears of the Kingdom win over Starfield.
Man, that's because that's the narrative now of like Starfield's gonna win regardless. Because it's one of those things to where the anticipation has been so big for it that it kind of out trumps anything you see.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If Tears of the Kingdom gonna be there, whether people like it or not,
it has to. It has to. So that's the only thing I can see beating Mario right now. That's the only thing I can see beating Mario.
Yeah. So I'm just sitting there looking like, bro, they gonna have to either that's gonna be a 9-game list this year, or they're gonna have to figure something out.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
and by the time we do our show, I want to download Starfield and give it a shot and see, because even though it's not my type of game, I mean, those type of games you just gotta invest time. Like
that's one of those you're gonna have to. You got to get yourself into the adventure aspect of it. Yeah. So that's why I was like, I want to play it. I just don't trust Bethesda. So I had to wait, man. I don't trust them.
You have every right to feel that way.
Yeah, I just don't trust them at launch, man. I'm sorry. Like, I don't trust them at launch. I've been burned too many times by them at launch for me to ever trust them at launch. Now, I'll probably pick it up around April or May.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I forgot about Baldur's Gate 3. That's going to be another one that people going to be mad about if it don't win. So I'm like, bro,
is there like, what, 5 that can get nominated, or 6?
I think it's 6. Well, it used to be 5, and then your boy Kojima had that's when it was 6 that
That's
year.
Stranding.
Yeah, it was 6 that year.
Okay.
For reasons I ain't gonna get into them, but yeah. So I think it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a very interesting year. Oh yeah, that is right. I do need to pick up Baten Kaidos.
Yeah.
Because I never played the second one. So I do need to pick that up.
You get both of them together.
Yeah, I need to add that to the list. So yeah, I do need to do that. Thanks, Janelle. I'm glad you reminded me because I do need to add that to the list. So yeah, this is gonna be a crazy year.
Hey,
it's gonna be a crazy end of the year.
Play this year, then just put down the console, bro. Like if you didn't have nothing to play this year,
if you saying you ain't got nothing to play, you're not a gamer, dude. I don't know what to tell you because it ain't like every genre's been eaten. Every genre.
Well, that depends on what platform you play it on.
That too.
but still though, every genre's been eaten though. So there's games out on across everything now. Now your console, your preferred console of choice may not have exclusives, but it got third party support. It did get third party support, so because Capcom at least know 3 platforms. They may not know one of them that it works with from time to time. Capcom.
And then giving cloud versions and then Square Enix giving cloud versions where cloud ain't needed.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Square. I don't know. Like I said, this year has been hitting on all fronts. I think for those of us that have the luxury of at least having all platforms or at least trying them out at some point in time. Yeah, I mean there was something on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, VR, mobile,
PC.
Everybody has something. PC. Everybody has something this year.
Everybody's been eating this year. So you know what I'm saying? If you a gamer, you sit up here and you still complaining, talking about you ain't got nothing to play. Stop lying.
Yeah.
Stop. See, the problem is I don't have all of the popular games to play. That's why I'm mad.
That sounds like that sounds like a personal issue. That sounds like a personal issue. That sounds like a personal issue because we all in that same boat. I like you think I ain't want to pick up Mario Wonder and Sonic Superstars?
Yeah.
I can't do it. I literally can't do it. I'm like, bro, I ain't balling. And they ain't sending me no game.
Nah,
I'm not getting games sent to me.
I wish they were.
Yeah. I mean, shoot. I'm not. They ain't sending me nothing, so I have to pay for everything I get.
Did you see that mistake that was made by Jimquisition?
What mistake? I didn't see that.
Putting the Mario Superstars review under fucking not Mario Sonic Superstars review under Super Mario Wonder.
No, I didn't see that.
I was like, there's no way you confuse these games. Yeah, because the score they gave was like it dropped the overall score of Super Mario Wonder, but it was a Sonic Superstars review.
Lord,
I was like, either one, you did that completely on purpose because you got a personal vendetta, or 2, you are blind as hell.
They probably did that on purpose, man. That had to be done on purpose.
People read the review. It was like, hold on, this is a review for Sonic Superstars. Like, where's the one for Super Mario Wonder? Why did you put this here?
Yeah, that's crazy. So speaking of ratings, so I'm gonna make sure that I'm on the same page or we're on the same page. The Metacritic score, if I'm correct, is an average of all ratings that get listed there, correct?
That is correct. That's how I understand it. Yeah, that's how I understand it. Yeah.
From comments I've seen, because once again, going into the negativity pool of, oh, how in the world did Mario get this, but then Spider-Man gets this? And seeing the comments of, oh, I think IGN scores are weighed more than the other sites. I'm like, well, how would you even average that out? So IGN's 9 is heavier.
What they doing? Count IGN score twice?
How would that even work? Like, how would somebody
count extra points?
Like
that That doesn't make sense, man.
Listen, folks. Reading is fundamental, and reading comprehension is a thing you need.
Bro, I was like, you can't be this stupid. Like I was like, you literally
No,
it's just Nintendo
no,
mind.
no, no, no.
They take these sites and it rates heavier. Oh, I'm like, so you mean to tell me IGN's 9 for Mario is heavier than IGN's 9 for Spider-Man or 8 for Spider-Man?
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And I was like, let me make sure
especially when you know that Sony
people's ability to do math.
But especially when you realize that Sony like pretty much gives gives like IGN shit all the time. Like I can't see that happening.
I was like, okay, y'all finding a reason because they
couldn't
comprehend.
People forgot
higher than Spider-Man.
People forgot what an average is.
Yeah,
like you add up the total and to divide the number by the number of entries. That's how you get your average. So 5 plus 5 plus 6 is going to be what? 11? Divide that by 3. What do you have?
No.
5.3. That's your average. That's how it works.
Now I know I could see the with like some of these different ratings because you got some that do the 100-point scale, the 10-point scale, and then the 5-point scale.
And everybody uses different things. So yeah, everybody uses something different. So some people gonna go up to 5, some people go to 10. Yeah, it just weird like that.
And my math was wrong. I said 11. It should have been 16, but my average is still right.
Yeah. All right. So this one I came across just because I'm getting tired of hearing this word. But what is one gameplay style that you would be fine if it just disappeared forever?
Roguelike.
None. Not one.
Andre, stop that. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Roguelike.
Not one.
You capping, man. Stop the cap.
I am not.
I even got an alternative. Shooters. I'll be A-okay. Like, bro, because and it's nothing against shooters. There's some good shooters out there. But for anybody that's been gaming for a long time, during the X-Play days, I swear there was like a war game
that's all they talked about.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, like I just get tired of shooters, dude. Like, take a break. Like it's but yeah,
that's more in line with my thinking. It's not that I want one to go completely. Some need to not happen as much.
Right.
The reason why I say that, and mine is roguelike. All right. What's up, Sandstorm? How you doing, man?
What up?
Yeah. The reason why I say roguelike is because it's like there's only one roguelike I like, and that's Hades. By the way, what the hell happened to Hades 2? That's neither here nor there. But the thing is, I get so sick of hearing like, oh, this is a roguelike game, this is a roguelike game. I'm like, that's the only thing y'all know how to make? Like, or like
the battle royale stuff for a while.
Yeah, the battle royale before a time. Then like in like Dark Wars, Souls like nah. I know a Souls like game that y'all ain't that nobody likes. Contra, the original one. The one that's hard as hell. Nobody ever said Contra like games.
Yeah, I just thought about that.
Yeah. Because nobody that's because not a whole lot of people got the skill to play them.
Yeah.
If we being real.
Yeah.
Souls games are literally trial and error, like what speedrunners do with every other game.
Yeah. Now to be honest, like some of those Souls, like the especially when Dark Souls first dropped, the first game was broke as hell. It was broken, and people, just like they did with Skyrim, made excuses for it. And then it picked up. Now I think 3 was the one that everybody was like, "Yeah, this is fun," but 1 and 2 had issues. Because I remember there were some people like, "Hey man, these games ain't good because this stuff ain't getting fixed. It's broken. It's actually broken, and it's not that it's hard. It's broken." So
yeah,
it was that. So yeah, the whole Souls like, I'm like, I ain't never heard nobody say anything was Contra like. Or Ninja Gaiden like.
Yeah.
They couldn't handle them.
Right.
That's why.
So Sandstorm, you got one that you wouldn't mind, you'd be just fine if it was gone?
Ooh, like a genre.
Just like just one gameplay style or genre that you would be just fine to be just like, okay.
I wouldn't mind if everybody else would go away, but for them, for them specifically, I want more of it, and that's Metroidvania. Like I'm done with the whole Metroidvania esque. Oh, this is the new Metroidvania. Like I didn't have a problem with it before, but like now, like everybody,
Too many.
the latest Metroidvania, like,
but if you bring up other M, they get mad.
Yep.
right.
I feel you on that. I feel you on
that one has to go. I mean, I don't get me wrong. There's games that I like out of that. Your Dead Cells or what's the your Shovel Knights and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I just the name in particular. Like, make your own identity. You know what I'm saying? Like Shovel Knight esque. You know what I'm saying? Instead of Metroidvania. Like,
I feel you on that. I do feel you on that. That's why. And the one other thing that I would like to see, I would say probably less of, especially in the shooter genre, is I'm tired of all these first person shooters. Like, especially when they're supposed to be having like cool gameplay elements to it. I'm like, make this shit third person view, please. Like, to me, Destiny should not be first person. Yeah, Destiny should not be first person. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
So I'm one of those guys. I'm like, dude, I get it, I understand, but y'all have kind of like saturated that to the point where I'm more apt to jump on a third person view shooter than a first person, just because I'm tired of first person shooters. I'm just tired of that.
I say too, because Cyberpunk was built to be a first person shooter, so it doesn't really work as a third person. I mean, it does, but like fundamentally you would have to work out some things to make it. But however, the thing that I'm specifically tired about in first person shooters is the ability to have it like open world, if you will, and being first person, you can't see your outfits and clothing. Like, that drives me insane. The only time you can see it is when you put it
special
on
or something.
I can't stand that, man. Like, that's why I always ride a bike in Cyberpunk. Like, I never drive in Cyberpunk. I always ride a bike so I can at least at that point in time, look at my clothes.
But that's the thing. Like, we've talked about it too. So where first person shooters, I think, are best suited in the VR space because you can actually have a peripheral vision and be able to point and shoot. But with the way that they have it now, like you said, the open world aspect, Cyberpunk shouldn't have been first person. Destiny should have been first person. Like, it makes no sense. And then you say, okay, here's these cosmetics. I can't see them.
Like, so what's the point?
Right.
I'm paying for them. I'm paying for them for everyone else to look at them.
Yeah, basically, that's basically what you're doing. And I'm surprised. I'm not really surprised, but it's like that's another reason why I hate gaming journalists, because they never call these people out.
No, and they're not.
Well, that's because they get paid by them.
Like, you can be respectful, but I ain't saying you got to call them out, be a asshole about it. But you can be respectful, be like, hey man, why did y'all do? Now in the case of Destiny, I kind of understand. That's another one of the Bobby Kotick moves where, because they were supposed to have been third person view, but they wanted it in first person, even though they have Call of Duty, which is a first person game. Like, you already have your first person shooter that is specific for that fan base. Like, this game is meant to be something else, and they wanted to do it, so that's why they did it. So I understand that, but I mean, there's that. Now, Trinell made a good thing too. Arena-based anime license fighters, because
after Jump Force, they needed to stop.
Yeah, the problem with those is, it's like, dude, you can't. That engine don't work.
Right.
Like, it's like, I get the idea behind it, but the engine don't work like that.
No.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's not like Musu. Like, it's not like Omega Force with that Musu engine. Musu engine, look, we know certain stuff is gonna dip with that engine. We already know that. Like
Right.
that's why I find it interesting when people be like, "Oh, this game just needs to be patched and it'll be fine." Like it's an engine issue, dude. It's on every Muso game you play, from Hyrule Warriors to One Piece Pirate Warriors to Gundam Warriors. All those Warriors games got the same damn problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they really do. So that's where it gets kind of hard to get excited for a game like a Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah,
and it's like I already played the game. I just don't have the characters. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
That's why I was so pissed off with Demon Slayer. That could have been so much more.
Yeah.
But
the way they did it, I was like, I understand why you did it that way, because like when they did Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm back on the PS3, it was different. Everybody was loving it, how they did it. And then they went overboard with it.
You heard what you just said on the PS3.
Yeah, on PS3, yeah. They went overboard with it. So I'm like, yeah, I might want to, kind of rethink it a little bit.
Yeah, go from a different angle.
Yeah, because I'm hoping that's what this new Bleach game is supposed to be. I'm hoping that. But I'm not holding my breath.
I feel like if it's a Bleach game, it should be in the style that's closer related to like Tenkaichi or
or just make it an action RPG like they did with Soul Resonance on PS3.
Oh yeah.
Soul Resonance was fun.
That was a dope one, man.
Especially when they let you go faster or Ichigo.
Yeah. When you finally got you finally got the suit, and you sing.
Yeah. And yes, Kenpachi was unfair, like it's supposed to be.
So would you be happy with it being in Kakarot style?
First of all, I don't talk about that sorry ass excuse of a game that was toward but no, it probably won't work.
Yeah.
To be fair, it probably won't work. It's just Namco is probably gonna say that it can't run on the Nintendo console, and then once the Nintendo console hits like 50 million. So then it'll magically work. I mean,
actually, to be honest with you, I would actually hope that it was that way, because that's the easy way to make side quests and stuff like that work for Bleach at least.
And the other thing too with Bleach, you have like fodder because you can use the hollows of fodder. So like with Dragon Ball, it's kind of hard to have that because they don't really have that.
Yeah,
really. But Bleach actually has it.
Yeah, and it makes it work. And as stronger they get, you can use the run cars and stuff like that. And
once you get to certain area, had them use run cars, Vast Lords, had them use, and with this Thousand-Year Blood War, had their pussies come out.
Yeah. A bunch of unknowns.
Right.
So,
what was your name again?
Why you wearing all white and speaking? Oh crap! But yeah,
he had a one oddball out the group called Bob.
Yeah. So Jay brought up a good point. What's the point of having Nicki Minaj and COD if you can't see her?
Yeah, that I didn't understand. The whole Savage, and I think what Snoop was in it too.
Yeah, Snoop was in it.
Yeah,
like
stupid.
That's the problem is that like when you're I understand putting the stars in there because they did that with Modern Warfare 3. They had somebody in there.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot who it was. They had some celebrity in there, but I'm like, why are you going? But it's a first person shooter, so why you? Okay, all right, whatever.
I hate to be the one to say it. But there are some people who want to, be done with her. That's why.
That's what I said.
You're gonna see a lot of Cardi B fans showing up in this game for sure.
That's what I was saying in my thing. Like they just want to shoot them and then get the tea bag real quick while somebody else teabag it.
Like I said, I don't know
somebody wants to record themselves doing it.
Yeah, people can say what they want. Y'all can come for me. I don't care. Most people that play Call of Duty are the most immature individuals.
Oh yeah, dude,
most immature.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And this is why.
Or you gonna have people sneaking up behind? You gonna have people sneaking up behind each other with knives, trying to stab each other in the ass just because of who it is.
Right.
And this is why Def Jam needs to come back. But
facts.
There's that. But yeah, I when they showed the Nicki Minaj one, I was like, that's weird. But then I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, because her and Meg Thee Stallion and somebody else, they say they gamers. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. I mean,
I
get
mean,
them
I've
their
seen
own.
Meg.
I mean, we can hear your gamers, but we don't see your gamers.
Right.
Don't
I
don't
know
Meg Thee
Meg.
Stallion got a don't she got a thing? She on
Yeah,
Twitch?
yeah, Meg does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
she
know
does. I'm not
Snoop
talking about her.
and Meg, Snoop, and 21. I know for a fact they game, but I don't know about Nicki. But even with that, right? Like even if they were gamers,
Yeah.
Call of Duty is past the point of needing star presence.
Yeah, they don't need star. No,
Right.
they don't.
Right.
I think
I
I think the only to be honest, I think the only reason why they do it because Fortnite does it. Because Fortnite has those anime and because they just had one for Ahsoka. So I'm like,
but here's the thing though, Fortnite is third person.
Yeah,
true, and
it is.
It
does.
When I'm walking around with all these different characters, whether you talk about from Dragon Ball or even from I think what they got One Piece in there now too.
They had One Piece,
yeah. So you can see
I still think it's funny to see who was it? Vegeta with a gun. That was kind of funny.
Goku and Vegeta with guns is just weird.
But they didn't have Farmer with a shotgun. That's the should have had the Farmer in there.
That's the funny thing. You would have thought they would have put him in there.
They would have put Farmer with a shotgun in there.
That was something funny.
Yeah, but whatever. And Trinell, to answer your question, yes, they are a joke to me. The Cybermen are a joke to me.
But I mean, I'm just thinking about Fortnite. Yes, they are. But Fortnite also gave Ryu a gun, a character we know never uses a gun.
And don't need it.
You really don't even need it, yeah.
But they couldn't take Guile. They couldn't take Guile and Charlie and put them in there.
Yeah, who actually uses guns?
Would have made sense.
I don't know. I don't know if Guile really uses. I don't know if Guile really uses a gun if he's got a move called Sonic Boom.
Well, I mean,
a move that he was taught by Charlie. He can only do it with two hands.
And we know he got to keep that comb ready.
Oh yeah.
Gotta be
ready. Keep the dude straight, bro.
Yeah, gotta keep it straight. Gotta keep it straight.
Look, the Sonic Boom is the backup for when he runs out of bullets.
Makes sense. All right, so I kind of ran into this situation because I saw this on Twitter and it was back a couple weeks ago during that whole email leak from Microsoft, the whole thing about them trying to buy Nintendo. I still can't say that with a straight face. Buy Nintendo. I still think that's funny.
Forcibly acquire.
Yeah, acquire. We'll say that. And they're planning to do that, which I have to say, people, when you're at work, watch what you email and chat.
Yeah.
True fact.
Even if you do delete it, the Exchange server is
already
still
been out
there. The Exchange server is still there. So this is a little note from the IT department. Just watch what you send out. Just watch what you send out, because it can be retrieved. And you would think, since Buddy works at Microsoft,
he would know that.
Yeah. So, but there were some people who actually said this, that if Microsoft were to buy Nintendo, that it'll expose their titles to a broader audience. I'm like, y'all don't buy those. Y'all don't buy those games. Like,
hold on. How when Microsoft has always been third place?
Yeah.
With putting Nintendo's games on their platform, expose Nintendo games to a wider audience. When Nintendo has the wider audience.
Because that means they want to add PC to it too. And then the PC people won't have to
the same people who are already pirating the games in the first place.
Yeah, they're gonna do it anyway. They're not gonna pay for it. If they're emulated, they're not gonna pay for it now. They're not gonna pay for it just because it's magically on. They're not gonna do that.
It's Microsoft. We're gonna pay for it now.
Yeah, that doesn't make
sense. That's the majority anyway. No, the majority.
Well, my thing is, And my response is, okay, how are you gonna do that when you have the rare titles that you haven't even touched? Like, and my example is Jet Force Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
Jet Force Gemini. That's a perfect example, right? That's a Nintendo style that they could have easily turned into, since everybody loves shooters, they could have easily turned that into something, and it could have been making a killing. They haven't touched it. Perfect Dark is in development hell because, and I
I
don't
don't
even
want to know what happened to that.
all I know is the writer and the writer and one of the directors left. That's a problem.
Wow.
You got Killer Instinct. Shout out to got Killer Instinct that we should have been
Perfect
on. Shadow, shouldn't we have been on like Killer Instinct 4 or 5 by now?
Clearly, by now we should have. And
7.
If you wanted to keep the team, then you should have kept them in place. But
yeah, so I mean, like you have like, and that's just one example. And they didn't do. And I thought, now with Matrick, I understood because Matrick wasn't no game guy. He wasn't a games guy. He didn't care. I thought Phil was a little bit different, but apparently I was wrong.
No, Phil is different. Phil is different because he's good at taking things that Iwata said and repurposing them to get everybody to cheer for him.
Basically, yeah. But I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, and I'm like, bruh, just putting the games on that platform or putting them on PC is not going to help. It's not going to expose them to a wider audience, especially the PC crowd, because the PC crowd already supposedly emulates everything. Because apparently, emulating Xenoblade Chronicles X works.
I doubt it.
The whole game, not just the first 2 chapters. The whole game.
Doesn't it crash like horribly?
It
crashes to the point where you can't reload it.
It crashes.
Fast travel's broken. Textures when you go in between, because there's just 5 massive areas, and texture loading is pretty bad.
But I've had people in Shadow. We've had conversation with a certain individual who swole up and down.
Wasn't there somebody who claimed they beat it on PC?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of weird too. And I'm not hating on other YouTubers. I know they do what they got to do, and they have to they do what they got to do. But like, don't. If you're going to show footage of like Breath of the Wild running with all these extra shaders on top, and all these, first of all, these are custom shaders made by other people, which may or may not exist. This is something that Nintendo is going to do. So don't do this to have people. You're setting people up for failure because you're setting up expectations of how this game is going to look if it's in 4K or something to that effect. So you show this emulation while you're talking about Switch 2. So to speak. So you got this Zelda game already, which Nintendo hasn't even started developing on. If you talk to them, they're still in the planning phases of what they're going to do for a game in general. So what it looks like right now is probably checkerboard. So you're thinking about all these features and all this other kind of stuff. Nintendo doesn't care about that. They're trying to make a game first, and then whatever bells and whistles they put on top of that, it's if the game still works well after they finish the main part of the game first. So they're not thinking about any of that other kind of foolishness, and y'all are thinking about it in a completely different way that they are. And on top of that, the footage that they show you isn't the truth either, because they keep showing you, oh well, look at Link walk through all this grass, and it's a lot of YouTubers doing this. There's a lot of YouTubers doing this. Look at Link walk through all this grass. It looks so great. It's in 8K down res to 4K, and you watch it on your 1080p TV, and you think it looks great and whatnot, and they're not showing you actual gameplay. There's no HUD.
There is no gameplay.
They're not showing you what's happening, because when you do emulate that game and you do that stuff, everything fucking breaks, because you're encountering those shaders for the first time and they have to load because it's not on bespoke hardware.
And the other thing too, like there's a couple of YouTubers that I watched that they put it in Unreal Engine 5, the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, but they told people up front, look, this ain't gameplay. This is just a movie we made to show you how it looks. It's a movie we made to show you how it would look.
Like it could look.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's good, because you're saying it up front that this ain't gameplay. This is just us playing around with Unreal Engine 5. Cool. Yep. But you got people, like you said, that sit up there and say, oh, this is what it would be like. Like the dude that made the Super Mario World one in in Unreal Engine 5, and I'm like, you got blood and all that. I'm like, dude, that's not Mario, dude. Like, Mario don't work in realistic fashion. It won't work like that.
No.
Hey, Dark Void, I see you in the chat. It's more than just those two people. It's a lot. Like even probably your favorite YouTuber, more than likely, is also showing that shit too.
Yeah.
They're showing Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild in like fucking 4K and shit, and you don't see them doing combat.
No,
they're
just
walking around through grass. I want y'all to understand this. Anytime that you see like even the Simu updates, they show you Breath of the Wild because it's the game that everybody in the public community works on the most. I would say look for a lesser known game on Simu and then try playing it. That's the reality of playing most games on the emulator, especially when you're talking about Wii U. Pick a game, pick Devil's Third, and then try to go play through it and see how consistent it is versus the original game on the console it was intended for. So like everybody emulates Breath of the Wild. So that game is gonna have quote unquote the best performance per se, but even it isn't it's not the best. Right. So and you'll see all kind of random issues. I really want people to understand that since the shaders that are in that game that you download do not exist in the original game, they need to be loaded. Even the original shaders for the game need to be preloaded first because they're not pulled in real time from a cartridge or from the disc like they are on Wii U and Switch. Right. And everybody's GPU is different, so they have to be retranslated and recompiled for your GPU. Yep. Versus every developer knows what the Switch's GPU firmware is, and everybody knows what the Wii U's GPU firmware is. All that code is already there, hard coded into the game for every Wii U and every Switch. People got to understand that. So when you try to emulate that, it's not going to work because whatever GPU you have, now you're waiting for that custom code to download to translate code to your GPU. Yeah, I want people to like that has to be like a baseline. People have to understand that because they think just throw specs at it and it'll be great.
Yeah, it don't work like that. And the other thing too is, and people need to understand, there's a difference between graphics and art style.
Yep, correct.
People don't understand that because I'm like, bro, I remember people was mad about Xenoblade Chronicles Studio, like, oh, this would look so much better if it's on PS5. I'm like, no, it wouldn't.
No, and there's a difference between
Nintendo's gonna put that extra work in.
But it's the art style. I'm like, that's an art style. You're saying this art style is equal to graphics, and no, it's not.
No, and performance isn't either. So you can change the driver in a game and get better performance. Nobody that doesn't look like anything. That isn't a extra looking shade over here. That's code that nobody sees, and your performance increases. So the same thing is true with code. If you have really bad code that talks to your CPU bad, now it updates your GPU slowly, and now you got half the frame rate. It's as simple as changing a line of code. So it's not just things that you see or numbers that you see based on the hardware. It's how the code talks to it. Right. Games have been 60 frames per second since the 5th generation. Right. So it's not anything. If a developer wants to make a game 60 frames per second from scratch, they can. They have to start with that as the target.
Right. That part.
I mean, personally, I can't trust anything unless Digital Foundry says it. I personally can't trust anything unless they say it. You know, because I mean, thought, you do know what Part 8 was at 60 frames a second. It's clearly at 57.
I don't know, man. Like I said, even watching all this stuff,
it's definitely a 59.9 because I can see that one drop frame.
Look, Digital Foundry is doing God's work. You hear me? All right.
Shadow, you got a question?
Okay, he said, what is the difference between 8 nanometer and 5 nanometer in a chipset? Because Dr. Trey been going on about it, hasn't been explaining what's going to be different. All that is like a die shrink. So the original Switch was 20 nanometer, and it went down to. Did it go down to 16 or did it go down to 14? With the quote unquote new Switch and Switch OLED.
Yeah, I want to say 16.
So essentially, what's happening is the more dense you can make a chipset, the smaller it is, and therefore it's a smaller physical chipset, meaning that it requires less cooling, or you get more performance per watt for the same amount of transistors that you have. If you can pack 2 billion transistors into a fourth of the size that you originally did, it's going to take a lot less heat, or it's going to create a lot less heat, which means you don't have to actively cool it, which means, or you don't have to cool it as much, which means you might be able to run it at higher clocks and get better performance without it, without your switch melting like mine does because it forgets to switch mode sometimes. That's essentially what's happening there. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get more performance out of it because it's up to Nintendo and what they decide to do with firmware. The Tegra X1 that's in Switch is severely downclocked. The memory clocks and the CPU clocks are downgraded significantly because they wanted Switch to be durable. We don't know what Nintendo's going to do with that, regardless of what the nanometer process is going to end up being. It's going to determine it's going to be basically based on exactly what type of clocks they're set on, what type of power envelope they're focusing on, whether they still want to keep 11 watts or not, or they want to go lower than that. And even if that's the case, you still can't really make any estimates because I've heard rumors. Well, I've heard rumors from another rumor monger who's reporting on a rumor that it's a good possibility that this time Nintendo is going to go ahead and customize what NVIDIA is doing. So they're working on a custom project together. And if they are doing that, which would be Nintendo going back to normal, then it's apples and oranges. There's no way for you to really gauge what's going to be possible there. They could have an 8 nanometer chipset that operates like a 5 nanometer chipset and vice versa. There's no way of knowing because they'll have other things. So like Wii U, if you look at its numbers, it's not supposed to do what it's supposed to do. But there's custom baked in hardware there that does other things that a PC couldn't do with only 8 ROPs on the GPU side of things. Since there's another fixed function object on the GPU that does what raster operands do, the Wii U doesn't need that many of them. So if you think the same way for, say, Nintendo Switch, and you're talking about something like, say, well, we needed to have this RT core or whatever, so it can do ray tracing, whatever, blah blah blah. We don't know if Nintendo's coming up with a custom solution for that, where they could have something that, I don't know, instead of it needing so many shaders to do ray tracing or anything like that, or having something dedicated for ray tracing, it could be in the cloud. Who knows? So I would I would defer until we know everything. And that's going to be when Nintendo decides to spill it, or they just say, hey, this is our partner, and then NVIDIA comes up with, hey, this is what we're working on, blah, 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 and you get more detailed information.
Because last time NVIDIA was the one that said it after the Switch dropped. That wasn't even...
And they still didn't give like 100% of what it was. Like, people had to do teardowns. And
like the only way you're going to know is if you take it apart. Yeah, that's the only way you're going to know. Because they're not going to tell you, as they should, and they shouldn't tell you. As the person who buys it, the only thing you should be worried about is playing the damn game.
Yeah,
I think the scary thing about it is. Go ahead, Andre.
No, I was going to say, to be fair, people have done teardowns of the Wii U and still don't know what every piece does.
Because those are people who shouldn't be doing teardowns. The people that's doing them shouldn't be the ones doing them.
To this day, there's an open forum on NeoGAF, and they don't know what's on there. Like, there's a die shot. Chipworks sent a die shot of both the CPU and the GPU, and they don't know what they're looking at.
I think that's some people don't realize too. That's homage to how scary that relationship actually is. Because if you think about it, before NVIDIA, they were really working with ATI, AMD, what have you, and really doing all that customization, the coming up with the algorithm of how they wanted their consoles to be in the first place. And so, while Sony and Microsoft, Sony a little less after the whole PS3 situation, but
burning HDMI cables,
right? But just the idea, like, now you got NVIDIA, who is between the two the biggest graphics company, and then you got Nintendo with the secure ideas. Like, that's trouble if Nintendo's like, okay, so our first time went around right. We bought these from you and we made it happen.
Right.
Now let's just go ahead and slap our ideas on here on top of that, because I guarantee you there's some situations where Nvidia's gonna be like, you know what, like, dang, we should have did that with some of our other stuff.
Yeah, you're a trusted partner now, because I mean, you literally took something that we had already and made us millions. Now we listening. Like, what you want us to do? Like, what you want us?
We can do some custom stuff for you now.
For sure.
We can do some custom stuff for you now,
we
bro.
can do this. Y'all want to throw that in there? No. Okay, well, come back. We'll think of something else.
Because I'm pretty sure that partnership gonna be intact for a while.
Yes, I'll say this too. For all intents and purposes, and for all the noise and shit talk there is about this system, Wii U on paper shouldn't exist. The way that the CPUs are designed, they're not supposed to be multi-core. Somehow, somebody really smart at Nintendo, like he says he loves CPUs or whatever, figured out how to add mercy support on something that didn't have mercy support. And so not only is it multi-core, they're cache coherent too. So they know they have dedicated cache on them. They know which one has what, and they talk to each other and share information.
Right.
That was never in the original design that that IBM had for that chip. They effectively took IBM's design, redesigned it, and built a custom product with it. Like you won't find that anywhere else. That CPU doesn't exist anywhere. So the fact that they did that, and this is how you would know that's a smart idea, because the manufacturer that made that, Sony bought them. And Nintendo couldn't make the Wii U again if they wanted to, because Sony bought the company that had the foundry. So them now working with Nvidia, it could be very interesting. We'll see exactly what they come up with, but Nintendo is changing exactly what they want to focus on based on experiences, not on, hey, we need to edge out Sony and Microsoft in this numbers game of bullshit that doesn't mean anything. Because I'm sorry, but if you tell me that, or if you put 8K on the box, don't pitch me a 1080p game.
Yeah.
Like Switch is just like, hey, you're playing on the TV. Now you're not playing on the TV. What game doesn't do that on Switch? Is there one that doesn't do that? Is there a game that you can buy on Switch where you don't get it on the screen? Like, it doesn't work? Maybe you take the Joy-Cons out and they magically stop working. I think they do. Every single game. There's some games that don't support tabletop mode, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe
some of them don't
in some situations. But
I was gonna
as
say
far
1-2
as
switch,
docking that damn thing and using the Joy-Cons, it works.
But the vast majority of games do work in every capacity of what.
Yeah, you got to find like a very small amount.
Yeah.
But if you sit here and tell me that first and foremost, what you care about is resolutions and frame rates, and then the resolutions and frame rates are literally independent of every single game and every single developer and every single publisher, and they're going to vary. Why is that your focus if it's not going to be constant?
Because I have to be popular, Shadow.
or you have nothing else to sell.
Right.
I have to be popular. Okay. I paid IGN. I told IGN that they should look at our games first.
I'll just say this. There are people I don't like. You can talk right now and just say, hey, look, I really want ray tracing. I want it to be enabled in every single game, and every single game has it, and I have that thing. The thing that was promised to me is there. I get instant load times in every game because that's the thing that was there. The thing that could be done with just more RAM is there. The thing that was done with cartridges on the N64 is there. In every game, I don't know. I don't know, and it definitely isn't there where you have to install it first.
Right.
So it is what it is. But we missed Trinell's list, I think. But that is a good list. Age of Empires, I think they did something, but I don't know what.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Blinks the Cat. Yeah, well, Perfect Dark is in development hell right now, so I don't know what the hell.
Yeah.
Conquer. I'd rather Conquer go back than Nintendo, because at least Conquer on Nintendo will be uncensored.
Right.
Yeah.
Banjo Kazooie.
Like, to me, I think for these situations, like, I think that was old Rare, and then possibly new Rare just don't want to do stuff like this.
Yeah. Well, they bought all these other studios. Let one of them do it.
Yeah,
it's
True.
theirs.
Yeah,
technically it's theirs.
I think you gotta force somebody on this job, and I think that's where it gets down to, because you saw the post after the acquisition was final, like, oh, some of the best platformers, none of them exist other than Spyro and Crash, and we don't know if they're getting a no. So it's like they're gone. Like, there is no Banjo, there is no Conquer. Link's the Cat. I went back and played that. It's not as good as y'all think it is, but it's like.
But I understand what he's.
But I understand what they're saying. Yeah. I understand what he's saying. Yeah, for sure.
Because like the thing is, this is a perfect chance to like widen your variety to your base, but your base don't want it because you've trained your base to only like Gears and Halo and COD.
Forza, yeah,
and Forza and whatever third party sports game is out.
I think Game Pass could fix that, because I think Hi-Fi Rush was received pretty well.
Yeah, it was.
And that's something all the way out of the scope. Now, the way that Hi-Fi Rush got praised, in which it's a great game and it deserves it, but I think it got the praise for the wrong reason, because people were expecting it to fail. And when it showed up and it did what it was supposed to do, then it was like, oh, wow, this is really a good game. This is the same praise Sunset Overdrive should have got, but it didn't. So, I don't know.
I will never understand Sunset Overdrive, because I was like, dude, this game is awesome. I will never understand the
shameless plug, buy Sunset Overdrive. If you follow anybody on this podcast, buy Sunset Overdrive. I think it's free anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, but with that fan base though, that's what I'm saying. That fan base, I'm like, they should have been eating that up.
They should have been all over that, hands down.
Even though it's clearly a Nintendo game, it has the other things in there that will hook an Xbox gamer though. That's just so crazy.
Which is why I said, I'm like, dude, there's no way just throwing some Nintendo games on a Microsoft system is going to help it expose it to a wider audience. You're delusional. You're deluding yourself if you think that. If you really think that, like, the only one I can see possibly doing well is Metroid. Possibly. Yeah. Other than that, you think Legend of Zelda is going to sell on freaking on the Xbox? No.
No, it's not.
No. Mario Wonder? No.
It ain't gonna sell unless Bethesda gets a hold of it.
Yeah. So I'm like, and even then, would you want to play a Bethesda made Legend of Zelda?
Absolutely.
Oh no.
Absolutely.
I don't want no.
We finally put Link in first person. Oh.
Yeah, no, I don't want to.
You are Link. I'm Link in every game. That's what I'm talking about.
Link has a voice now, and he talks every 5 seconds.
Yeah, Link's voice is worse than Navi's. So, but it's like, dude, even though I've said this ever since Dread. If I was Nintendo, just to be petty, I'd have Link talk, but have him speak highly in the whole damn game, while everybody else speak whatever the language is for the country you in.
Actually, I would be cool with that, to be honest. I'd be fully cool with that.
Just to be petty, but that's the thing. Like, I don't understand why people think that's automatically gonna mean sales. It don't automatically mean sales. I'm like, I'm looking at something like Splatoon and how addictive Splatoon is, and I'm thinking like that base probably wouldn't like it because you ain't killing nobody.
There you go.
Nah, Exodia. Animal Crossing wouldn't kill on Xbox unless it came with Viva Pinata. And
Doomslayer.
Yeah, on the side. On the side. You know what I'm saying?
That's how surprised Viva Pinata actually worked on Xbox.
I thought it wasn't going to work at all.
Me either. Yeah.
But they haven't made a new one.
So there's potential, but Microsoft threw it away. So you introduced new characters with a lot of the Kinect games, and you kind of let that go. You could have kept that as your quote unquote casual looking games to create new franchises with. You could have took the characters from Kinect Sports and what have you to move forward and make new genres of games. And they just let that go, and I'm like, that stuff sold well. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a motion-based game or whatever, since you're dropping Kinect now, but it could be something different.
You get this, and
I still think that was a mistake.
Yeah, and also with the way people love indies now, you can have one of the 20 indie studios you bought. Just make something with it.
Yeah. I said they need to stop trying to do large scale games. Have a couple of their teams that exclusively work on smaller projects.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm still Team Usher. Sprite and Usher. Bring the Connect back and just do another Dance Central. Do a real good one.
I am not Team Usher. It could be anybody. Besides Usher.
The irony here, because he was on the stage for the game or whatever.
But, yeah, he was on the stage.
I thought you said Team Usher. I was like,
yeah,
something different. But
yeah, he was on the stage.
He was on
the stage, but his presence was so awkward there.
Yeah, he was pimping it with Girlwood. Was pimping the game. So I would Dance Central is an interesting project, and it has a lot of casual appeal, and it works really freaking well. Mm-hmm. So I just don't. I understand that they tried to milk it, and then fans were like, "What are you doing? We just bought this game."
Yeah.
Yeah. You just go back to the drawing board, figure out what the original game did right, and create a actual good sequel for it. Make it a 1 or 2 game a generation type thing. Don't try to milk it or what have you, because you got a chance for new casual players every time you start a new generation. Mm-hmm. So I would keep that gap, at least a 5-year gap in between each one of those, and it gives you plenty of time to research what you want to do with it, as far as like tracking motion and doing stuff like that. So I don't know, man. Right now is still popular in the medical field, so obviously the product works.
So I got an off-topic question, and that's kind of funny. Whatever happened to Lionhead Studios?
And oh man. I mean, I just know they were right. They definitely said never count Nintendo out. So they were right about that.
That was after that whole
Peter Molyneux deal.
Yeah, no, when they were laughing at the Wii when it first got introduced, and then they brought out corruption, and they showed it worked damn near flawlessly, and everybody was like, "Oh, we done effed up."
Yeah,
because this Wii remote and Chuck actually works, and they saw I think because that was at Paris Games. I don't think that was at E3 that year. That was at Paris Games where they brought out the first level of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, and they showed it live on stage, and it worked flawlessly. And that's when they were like, "Oh crap!" And it was over after that.
I'm pretty sure there's a motion-based Halo and Killzone somewhere where they wanted it to be all motion. I'm pretty sure there's a project scrap somewhere for both of those.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I'm still thinking that, I'm still not understanding why they won't jump on gyro. I don't understand that, but whatever.
Who is that?
Doom supports it, at least.
Microsoft and
Microsoft hasn't made the gyro.
And made the gyro.
But we're talking about controller standards.
After 6 Axis, I think Sony was kind of done with
good
that.
Old battle
half the time the studios they use don't even want to use the stuff they have. No. They don't even want to use it.
And that's the key thing. And I think because with that leak that we saw for the emails, it looks like Xbox Next controller is going to have gyro. But then also too, when you look at features that developers don't use, unless you muscle them into it, status, they're not gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, Nintendo don't seem to have that problem with people when they add gyro to it. They're like, "Oh no, we don't have a problem with it."
Because I'm trying to think. There are some games that will add gyro to it. I don't know if all do.
Yeah,
but I mean, it seems like it's like
no. The big problem was
they don't want to do it.
Was HD Rumble. That was
that
too.
To me, it's like, okay with HD Rumble. If the person that made it isn't doing it all that much, I'm not using
it.
It's just like the IR sensor. I think the real usage of IR sensor, I think we're going to see on WarioWare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've seen some games with the IR sensor.
It was that and 1-2 switch.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's the thing. I think like the IR sensor that was made for those specific style of games, but it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, we had this idea for something else that Iwata was working on. We'll just put it in there just to have it in there. Cause I don't think like the HD Rumble that was always something that I was like, I don't know if this is gonna actually really, because you're not forcing people to use the Joy-Cons exclusively because you got a Switch Pro controller, and that's just gonna be regular Rumble. So
I thought the Switch Pro had the HD Rumble in it too. No,
it doesn't. As far as I know,
it's just regular Rumble.
It's just regular.
Dang, then that kind of kills everything.
The third party controllers do though.
Yeah, like
I feel like that's a misstep.
Yeah, like but I think the reason why, because it was meant for those games, for the Joy-Cons, like your Nintendo, your Switch Sports, your 1-2 Switch. It was meant for stuff like that.
All they had to do was make Call of Duty Modern Warfare HD remake.
Bobby Kotick, look, man, Bobby Kotick, our favorite CEO of all times, said that he regrets doing that he regrets not doing that. I mean, I don't see why he will regret. I'm pretty sure that's part of his severance package.
Right.
I mean,
right.
The way I see it is, you had close to 1 million followers on one of the worst selling Nintendo platforms,
and one of the
in that launch Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
Then you abandoned them, and then the system shows up with Doom on it, and it does well. It has other first person shooters on it, and then they sell well, and then you're like, yeah, we're never going to put Call of Duty on it. That's a programmer move, bro.
Actually, look, man, don't get mad at him because Sony told him. I mean,
not even the free version, not even the free game, mind.
Killing me.
I'm just saying, man. Don't be getting mad because Sony told him not to. I mean, he was instructed. His partnership.
Look, not even Call of Duty mobile.
Right.
That was what got me, like the mobile aspect of it. Like, come on, dude.
I still have to find the video with the hilarious damn joke video about Bobby Kotick and this guy named Dietrich riding around in their Testarossa in Italy back in the mid 90s, early 2000s, after they tried to pitch the 3DO and the Infinity Labs found them to everybody. That was just glory times there. They're venture capitalists, man, for sure.
They're awesome people, man. They're the best. They're the best. And that being said, all right, people, we're gonna call it a night. Thank you everybody in chat for showing up. We really do appreciate you. Sandstorm, anything you want to pimp out?
So yesterday we did our Halloween special on the channel. I wanted to be kind of separate because I know we're probably gonna do ours this following week. Something
I'll
like
let
that.
you know after. I'll let you know during the after party.
Yeah. So and Vito on his channel, he's not doing Halloween special in that sense, but he's doing a Harry Potter type of deal on his. So I just wanted to kind of give separation, a little bit of breather. So if you weren't there yesterday for it live, it's on the channel. Make sure you go over there and check it out. Tomorrow we may or may not have a Jill podcast. I'm not absolutely sure, but seeing as how Mario Wonder came out this past weekend, I'm guessing that we probably will have one. So catch me on that as well. Also, we are on our road to 500. If you check out the last video that I did, the link to, I should be looking this way. I don't have to look this way right now. The link to the road to 500 giveaway is in the description on that video. So make sure you click on it so you can get registered for that, for a chance to win $50. And then, when we get to 600, it'll be $60. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Well, you 10% in everybody.
All right. But when it gets to 800, only expect $70 because I'm not rich. I ain't gonna be money like that.
All right, Andre, what you got?
I mean, I don't have anything posted yet. I am working on my Halloween video, which, after having the tiebreaker settled by my wife, is going to be 10 games. that could make horror franchises. It was either that or my top 10 horror games. And because YouTube said 3-1 for option 2, and Twitter said 3-1 for option 1, I had to ask her.
Okay.
So that's what you got. But that'll probably be done by Halloween. But otherwise, I'll just have a couple small videos posting because I have a couple things I want to just run some discussions on. But that'll be it.
Okay. All right, Shadow.
So I just put a poll out on my YouTube community page, shameless plug. And if you want me to cover the switch to either in stream or video form, let me know. I do have a project that I'm working on for Switch 2, and I may or may not upload that depending. So let me know how you want that to go, and I can either stream it going over this information or I can make a video for it. But either way, yes or no on that will let me know where I need to go from there. So other than that, that's all I got. Channel A did put a video out, I think sometime last week, about something that might be slightly important. So you might want to check that out. Other than that, may or may not do the podcast this week. There may just be more videos, but stay tuned.
All right, Jack.
Oh yes, everyone.
I have the real Halloween thing for my channel. It has been ghosted for a while, so it's been dead for a minute. But I do plan to post something after I get everything done with my submissions. As far as music, that kind of takes priority right now. I have the Quest 3 stuff that I have to film, and then I want to put something with Mario Wonder also. Like this is a pretty good game. So, but definitely want to do the Quest 3 stuff. But I definitely have to get this music submission in by the 25th. I had some last minute things that I asked them reached out for that just got completed. So once I get that submitted, once that's good, once 2 cores say I'm good, then yeah, I'll start posting some more videos for sure before the end of the year is out.
All righty. Well, y'all know I got some stuff I got to get done for work, so I'm probably not going to be posting sporadically like that. But just check the community tab, check the Discord whenever I go, because I may go live tomorrow because I only got one thing to do after I get off work. So I may go live tomorrow just so I can have a live stream up. I don't know what I'll be doing, but probably around 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So just check Discord or the community tab, and I'll let you guys know. Other than that, thank you guys again for coming through. We really do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Quick alibi.
Yep.
There was a comment about ray reconstruction. Games are not ray traced in real time. They make an approximation of full raycast going across the scene. So when somebody says we support ray reconstruction, what are they saying? That's all I got to say.
Okay. All right. And on that note, see you guys next Sunday, people. Peace out.
Later, y'all.
Peace out, everybody.